The First Descendant, made by Nexon Games, a Korean studio named to implement some pretty sketchy business models into their game, is a new looter shooter game that looks somewhat like a mashup between Destiny and Warframe. Currently on release, there will be 14 playable characters, each with different active and passive abilities. Some of these characters vary from Ajax, the badass tank with huge horns, all the way to the bunny waifu, Bunny. Even though the First Descendant has some striking resemblance to other games like Destiny or Warframe, that doesn't mean it's necessarily just a copy or doomed to fail or a cheap remake. If anything, I think it's a good thing. There's plenty of room in the looter shooter genre for innovation and growth, and personally, I'm all for it. The First Descendant's going to be a free to play online MMO looter shooter, and that does mean there will be an in game cash shop, but they're setting up the in game store very similarly to Warframe, where it doesn't necessarily feel pay to win, but you can spend money for things like cosmetics and getting access to characters earlier. But there will also be a battle pass with a premium track, which everyone, including myself, is tired of. Obviously, no one likes to hear that a potentially great game could be held back by a cash shop, but this is a free to play game, and they have to make money somehow. Hopefully, this will play out like Warframe or Destiny, and the game is loved by everyone. If the gameplay is good and the in game store isn't blatantly pay to win, then I think most people will probably be enjoying this. If you look at its competitors, which only really include Destiny and Warframe, they both also have a cash shop. Destiny 2 practically locks 99% of the game behind a paywall, and Warframe shows a very similar business model to what we've seen for the First Descendant. Apart from the business model of the First Descendant, what do I think? Well, I haven't gotten to play the game too much just yet, but from the beta, everything looks pretty nice. All the characters look interesting, and I like the way they're going for sort of an MMO class system where they introduce the classic roles of tank, DPS, and support. The gameplay is fast paced, flashy, and graphically incredible, especially with characters like Bunny, who is all about moving fast and always staying on the move. Every one of Bunny's abilities synergizes with the idea that the player wants to move fast and they want to constantly be moving. Her passive allows the player to build up electricity, which makes her move faster and deal more damage. The game classifies her as a nuker because she can send out these massive shockwaves, consuming her electricity for huge AoE damage. And to me, that sounds incredibly fun. One of the best factors about Warframe is the movement, and here in the First Descendant, every player will have access to their own grappling hook, allowing them to swing from structure to structure and around the air. Also, the gunplay looks and feels absolutely amazing. It features a system similar to Destiny where you have a primary, secondary, and heavy weapon that all have their own exclusive ammo type. There's also an exotic weapon system similar to Destiny. They just renamed it Ultimate Weapons, but each of these Ultimate Weapons looks incredibly interesting and they have their own unique effects. One of the Ultimate Weapons, Thunder Cage, emits electric shockwaves that look like lightning. As you could imagine, this sounds like it would synergize perfectly with Bunny, the electric character mentioned before. Now, I have played lots of Warframe, clocking in a few hundred hours, but I've always felt like you can just play alone in that game and you're not really incentivized to play with others all that often. None of the content there feels so difficult that you would need to play with others. In the First Descendant, they have an in-game activity called the Void Intercept, and these are big juicy pinnacle content that will be available on release, and you have to team up with other players to take down a big bad boss. I personally love that they're introducing a system that gives you a reason to team up with other players and fight something big instead of just soloing everything. It's almost like a raid, but not on the scale that Destiny does it. As for the future of this game, there's already been a leak from a French content creator named Altestine showing the existence of a roadmap for the game. This has been confirmed on Reddit and looks promising, with big updates coming as soon as August, which is great. So the game should stay fresh following launch week, but with all that being said, we're gonna have to wait and see if everything turns out as amazing as it's hyped up to be, or it turns out like Anthem and is a complete flop. Currently, the game has some pretty high expectations, so to live up to that, they're gonna have to deliver and deliver pretty hard. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Will the First Descendant be a Warframe killer or just the next Anthem flop? If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I will be streaming the release here on YouTube tonight, so please stop in, and until next time, thank you.